Uh, 7:53 start time. Oh, yep, there it goes.
Here we go. So Link's house, we got the lamp now. Maxim Barnage not starting in the Sanctuary, starting in the Dark Chapel, because Sanctuary is in the Light World. But much like the Sanctuary, you do have that location kind of in that general area, as we do get a pretty hefty map check. I believe I saw 5 and 6 crystals on Turtle Rock and Pod, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, I saw 5 and 6 on Turtle Rock and Pod, and if I'm not mistaken, it was red pendant over on Thieves Town. So we're gonna have 2 pendants in the Light World.
Looks like Stumpy just had some arrows. I did not see what was on the bumper ledge due to some pixelation stuff, though.
Yeah, I did not catch that either, and I tried to switch over to the speed gaming, and it was already gone.
Oh boy. Well, we might see that from Dr. Bob's side. So, yeah, as I was kind of saying earlier, in inverted mode, you know, some of your highest probable plays to find stuff going to be in either Skull Woods or Thieves Town, so you have to kind of dip those locations pretty early. Looks like there were bombs on top of Bumper Cave, and we have a tree pole too. We get some more bombs. Awesome.
Yep, always nice to find it. Maximum Barnage kind of going for those guaranteed bomb drops in Skull Woods, and takes a purposeful death there just to get some more bombs.
So yeah, getting bombs very vital. As we know, there is that really special location in the Dark World, the Hype Cave. You actually need 2 bombs for this location, so, you know, get those bombs, come here. That's 5 items you can get right off the bat, so that's what Dr. Bob is really looking to do right here.
Yeah, the biggest treasure trove of items and nice and safe.
Oh, we still got the heart container, just not in the way I was kind of hoping to.
Yeah, I was kind of disappointed actually seeing the heart container. I wanted to see another piece of heart there. Just go 4 for 4.
It's still, you know, it's still 4 hearts, I guess, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, it helps. You might, more than likely, if you got all 4 hearts, I don't think there's much that can actually one-shot you on the overworld. Ooh, Barnage taking a death trying to get into Hype Cave, though.
Yeah, again, that's Dark World for you. These enemies hurt, and they hurt really hard.
What we call that vanilla lamp? It's in Link's house, but Link's house is kind of in the wrong world now.
Yeah, it's as close to vanilla as you're probably going to get in Randomizer, so we may as well call it that.
Or I guess French vanilla lamp? Is that what we're technically calling it?
Inverted vanilla. We'll go with that.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, another death here. Yeah, as you can see, a lot of death in inverted mode. That's just something you're going to have to probably get used to. Enemies still kind of have their, you know, little bits of randomness that can kind of throw you off at times. But we are getting a lot of pulls from all the different Dark World pull spots, so it's kind of good information to gather that stuff, because you never know when you're going to need those bombs, especially this early on.
That very well could be their only weapon for a while, too, so.
I think we're going to get our first hint here.
Yep, not much reason other to go, but we could give a faint hint. Grumble, grumble. Something wants some food.
Yeah, just some nice little Zelda 1 flavor text, I guess. So, not going to find anything there, so the adventure continues. Looks like, at this point, Thieves Town and Village of Outcasts is going to be our highest volume of items, and I imagine that's probably what Barnage is thinking right now, because I think he's already dipped Skull Woods for the items he can get in there.
Yes, other than that, that's pretty much all we have. Other than that, outside, we've just kind of got the digging game, but we're still sitting at 0 rupees, so no digging game.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the other kind of, not necessarily problems, but fun things about inverted is the chances, and it's usually a pretty good chance of that lack of rupees. Those chess game or the digging games, you usually don't even think about your rupees. You got to find a way to get the rupees for those games.
Yep, you really do. And in this house, we have just another piece of heart, so we're gonna have to probably take some steps into Thieves Town now. Bob is trying to brave the Gibdo Gauntlet, it looks like.
Yep, probably I would say one of the hardest rooms early in the game here with these two Gibdos. Especially no weapon to kind of manipulate them or get them out of the way.
Yeah. Okay, just a shield in Thieves Town so far. We are going to get another chest, I believe. No, we're going around, that's right.
Yep, got a shield, and we already got the small key as well, so only one more potential item before we have to go to the back.
Okay, what do we got? Oh, we got an item, and that will take us on top of Death Mountain, actually, so not too bad.
Yep, which I don't blame Maximum Barnage for deciding to just kind of leave after that. It's like, I can go somewhere that's not a dungeon. Let's go do that.
Yeah. And you were kind of mentioning that, you know, general rupee shortage that you experience in inverted mode. Now, thankfully, there is that nice little archery game in the south of Village of Outcasts where if you have enough rupees to play that and you can actually, you know, shoot the targets effectively, you can actually gain a lot of rupees early on, and that'll take care of the digging game, that'll take care of chess game, and kind of get you started on some of those other kind of early game purchases you might have to make at some point. But again, we're so starved for cash right now that even that's coming hard to get to just the archery game.
Yeah, I haven't even seen a big 20 at all from anything.
But if you are looking at Barnage's screen right here, you'll see that, you know, we are in Old Man Cave, but this is not Light World. This is actually something, a change of inverted mode, just to still kind of give you some semblance of the vanilla game. So it gives you that other spawn point up here. You still have to take him to the Light World, which that portal up here does lead there. So you can quite easily just warp there, take him down to the cave, and you have that spawn point. So we'll get an item from him once we do that. And then we also have a couple of other chests as well we can get. If we can make it across the Lionel Bridge, there'll be some items in Super Bunny Cave we could potentially get. And there might be a few other things we can get in the Light World, but not too much at this point.
Yeah, interesting thing. Well, here we get the map checks. So we've got a vanilla green pendant, and then we got the blue pendant over on Desert. So our final crystal is going to be in Hera. But interesting thing, Old Man doesn't change forms. So does he just have permanent Moon Pearl himself?
I guess. My question is, why is he holding out on us? It looks like Dr. Bob, though, is going to be continuing on in Thieves Town, going to brave the enemies in here, and going to need to be very careful, because, again, there are some nasty enemies, especially in the hallway we have coming up with the conveyor belt.
Yeah, I think with 5 hearts, Hellways, it's still pretty bad, but could be a lot worse if you only had the 3.
And he's also going to, before he continues on to this next room, you're going to see the hint that's here in Thieves Town. Half magic and a bottle in the western wing of Swamp Palace. So not necessarily required unless that happens to be our first bottle, but it's good information to know if you need any of those items by any stretch, and then if you don't, you can just skip that section.
Yeah, it's valuable knowledge, just kind of safety, so it can save some time.
Also, there was another hint on Spectacle Rock, and thank you, chat, for grabbing that, because I did turn away when that happened. Hammer in Eastern Palace.
Well, I have a feeling we might be going there fairly quick.
Still have to find some items to get there, though. Maybe we'll get lucky and find that's a Pearl and the Titan's Myths. Hopefully not too far out of the logic of everything.
How about some more pieces of heart? And some bombs.
An inverted, yeah, I'll take it. I'm not going to be too picky about that.
I mean, I would have been happy with the big 20, actually.
That's true. That's true. We are still missing that. So that's a good point.
Because at this point, I think Prudential, it could be on blind. We just don't have a weapon to actually kill blind at all yet. But it's either going to have to be on one of the games or in the chest we're about to see here in Blind Cell.
Yeah, game has not been pushing very many locations, at least in terms of progression anyway, so we're going to have to find something at some point. Ooh, just bombs. Now, Bob is still going to want to take the maiden to... Oh, damn.
I was going to say, they're just kind of crowding that cell. It's like, nope, that's your cell now too, buddy.
Yeah, unfortunately, he will have to retrieve the maiden later, but, you know, at this point, we can't kill blind anyway. We know that Thieves' Town's not the answer here. So it looks like Bob is going to go up to Death Mountain now to work on that. We need rupees really badly right now.
I was gonna say, I've seen seeds like starve me of rupees before, but I've seen at least like one big 20 before. It's like, okay, I need to farm enough rupees so I can play the arrow game and get some rupees that way. But this is just ridiculous.
Yeah, this is rupee starvation like I've never seen before. This is crazy. It looks like Barnage is just stopping to check these plants out here to get rupees, so he has enough to even farm here.
Yeah, it's the plan right now.
So yeah, according to Dark Shadows in the chat, we have chess game, digging game, both of which need rupees, and there is also that middle chest in Skull Woods, which, you know, may not have an item, but it is technically in logic if we want to work on that Gibdo room.
See, I'm sure we're going to see Maximum Barnage just get 30 rupees and then he's going to play the game.
Now, when it comes to this archery game, there is actually a particular place where you can kind of stand, and you can just kind of like stand in that location and not move and just shoot the targets as they kind of reach a specific location, and it's honestly not too hard to figure out. I used to know the trick, so, you know, hopefully he does kind of know that technique and can do this efficiently, because if he does, you know, kind of mess up and doesn't get enough rupees, then you might have to do this grinding again, unless he decides to again check that Skull Woods big key chest.
Yeah, and I mean, the only other thing you could potentially think about, but then you'd have to farm 30 rupees if it's not there. Unless I guess you could farm the 30, save and quit, and then go check the chest game and do a hard reset. But it's 20.
It's true. Yeah, but we do have rupees now. Okay, looks like... Yeah, it looks like he does have the strat. Nice.
So there's all the rupees he needs.
He's actually going to do it a couple more times, too. I mean, if you get it perfect, may as well. Okay, so let's see what's on the digging game, our first expenditure here, and thankfully we can get some rupees back as well from this, so you're not wasting too many rupees, even though you do have to have the initial 80 to play.
Yeah, and I think that in that the case, if you just that start for rupees, you just sit the whole game and dig for rupees and hopefully get some like that big 20 right there.
Yeah, really. Ooh. Well, okay, that is Hookshot Cave, so...
Yep, that's 4 locations.
I imagine that's exactly where he's going to after finding that.
Yeah, which I mean, I don't blame him because that's, you know, that's pretty much all you have at that point. So
yeah,
and other than going back for chest game, but if you're gonna save and quit, you're gonna go check 4 chests rather than 1.
And I guess it also is to Barnage's credit, he actually hasn't gone in the back of Thieves Town like Bob has. So while, you know, it looks like Barnage does have a pretty significant lead, Bob has checked some extra things that Barnage hasn't, so I imagine this is probably when Bob's gonna realize, okay, I need to start doing this too. I need to start grinding some rupees for this next part.
Yeah, and Barnage making very nice use of the hookshot iframes to get past the Lionels.
Hey, a big 20. Where were you earlier?
Here, have another big 20. And some flippers.
What can those flippers do? Okay, well, there are some extra plays in Dark World we can do now. So,
yep. Catfish, Pyramid, and Pod are now open.
Yeah. So it is kind of casually stringing us along this little path right now, so that's good at the very least.
Yeah, so far been a very linear seed, but usually that's kind of how inverted works out initially, and then you get to the light world and it's like, here, whole world is yours. Oh, yeah. I guess just checking hand, I was like, wait a second, Ice Palace, no, we don't have fire yet, we can't do that.
Yeah, we do see the Piece of Heart is in a Mimic Cave, so that means we can probably skip that location completely. And I think we're going to actually get another hint here as well. Going to the Dark World Shopping Mall, where there is actually a hint we can take a look at. Not a hint you normally see a lot because of how out of the way it is, especially in non-inverted mode. But definitely a bit easier to get to here.
Well, important information, maybe. We'll see what the... I guess, wait. Because we already know about the half magic in the bottle, but I don't think either one of those are included for unique items.
I'm not entirely sure. Yeah, well, I think half magic is, I believe. But a bottle isn't, yeah. Or maybe it's not. I don't know. There's a lot of items in Swamp anyway, so...
So Dr. Bob's going back to the Gibdo room. Catfish has got blue mail. That's very nice to see in inverted mode early.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Especially when we're still working with Dark World and when we're still less than 10 hearts. That's always a welcome thing to find.
And oh, Bob takes a death, but he got a big 20.
That is good. He's closer to that archery game.
He's gonna keep trying for this. And of course, you got to know that when you get excited about a big 20, that the C's just not giving you anything.
I know, right?
It's like, wait a bit, you're excited about a big 20, yes. Oh, and that gibbed. Oh, wait, he got a heart. That was lucky.
Yeah.
Oh!
Ooh. That is an item we will need, so...
Yeah, music is only randomized in Key Sanity. The inverted mode's music initially is kind of buggy, slightly, just because you're starting in the Dark World. But the music for the actual dungeons themselves are correct for depending on if it's a pen or a crystal.
Yeah, you kind of have to remember that they basically, like, kind of reconstructed the vanilla game to make this mode even work in the first place. So and this is only the first version that's been live, so there's bound to going to be some bugs here and there, so I imagine they'll maybe start locating that problem at some point.
Okay. Bob at least got enough to get a little bit, so he's able to play again, not have to farm for some rupees.
Yeah, yeah. Ooh, and there's the fire rod. First chest in Palace of Darkness.
Well, we know that there's an item that's not the ice rod, and it's actually no. Oh no. Ice Palace is open.
Yes, it is.
And they don't really have a good weapon for it.
They really don't, and again, we can't even finish that dungeon either, because we know that the hammer is going to be in Eastern Palace as well, so there's still a lot of stuff we have to find before that could even be considered, you know, what people would define as a good play, but that may be our only option at this point.
I mean, because I know we found the ice rod in Skullwoods. Did we find anything else? And we haven't. I don't believe we've checked chess game on either side either, which I think that's what we're getting on Barnage's side.
Yes, we are. So.
Well,
hello.
Okay, now we're set for rupees.
Yeah. Missing a couple, you know, for Zora and all that, but I'm sure we'll find something. You gotta think, once we get the Light World, there's like all those Kakariko items. There's gotta be a bunch of big 20s in there.
I'm just gonna say all the big 20s are in Ganon's Tower. He's hoarding them all. That's where the seed is going.
Probably, yeah. But yeah, with the Fire Rod, Maximum is going to be going back to Skullwoods. It's going to get the Ice Rod, and might also check the first chest in the back of Skullwoods, but we can't finish it without a sword.
Bob, on the other hand, instead of a single rupee in that first chest, since it is random still, he gets 100 rupees instead.
So he actually has enough for Zora right now, but he's also not gone in the pod yet either, so he doesn't have the Fire Rod yet.
Yep, he's still got to pay Kiki.
Right.
That darn monkey, it's like, we're already not getting many rupees. Can't you give me a discount? No.
And Bob still has to go back up and get his flippers to even get to Palace of Darkness, so... Man, just such a weird linear seed we have here. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah, the only thing that we know, because I believe, we know the hammer sitting in Eastern Palace. I think that's going to kind of bust the seed open, unless it's hiding behind the bow.
That's true, yeah, it could be on Arbos for all we know.
Fire Rod is in Palace of Darkness.
The very first chest, so we know we're also bow locked in that region as well. Gonna get the big key from the Skull Woods Mothula area, not Mothula item, but the chest back there. So we have another chest we can now check in Skull Woods.
Barnage, we'll see where he decides to go. I think really all he has outside of this big key is Ice Palace. And Bob, he's going to be taking the portal. Or nope, he's just swimming this way.
Yeah, he still needs to get his fire rod, so... Cane of Samaria? Oh my gosh.
So I just thought of something, and this could actually be really good for everybody watching. And the runners, I don't know how they're going to feel about it. We're a medallion away from Turtle... Well, actually, I think they can jump into Turtle Rock if they wanted to. Because that's all the rods. And the Gain of Samaria now.
Can they jump into it? Because I think you're supposed to get there from the light world
that you jump into. So we're a medallion.
Oh, and a sword to use the medallion too, of course.
We'll find both of those in Ice Palace. It's okay.
Yeah, that's fair.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, though, what it does do is blind is within logic now, though, with Cane of Samaria.
It is, yes. Yeah, Cane of Samaria is one of the 4 weapons we can use to take down blind. It's got to be either the sword, hammer, Cane of Samaria, or Cane of Burna. So, you know, that's what Barnage is thinking. He hasn't gotten any of the other items in here yet. So, you know, this does make logical sense for him to do. And I honestly think Cane of Samaria blind is actually fairly easy. You can keep your distance and kind of get the hits in whenever you need to.
Yeah, I can focus a little bit more on dodging rather than having to get your hits in.
Yeah. One thing that could definitely be beneficial to Bob, if he does decide to maybe go to Ice Palace next, which, you know, I think he might still check Catfish in the Pyramid first. But, you know, if he does go to Ice Palace, he could potentially kind of get an item before Barnage might, which may be an item that could help him progress the seed a bit further if, you know, Cane of Samaria doesn't necessarily lead to anything right now.
As I don't think we found all the items in Thieves Town, so potentially Blind could have one.
True.
Because right now on Barnage's side, we're missing the map. We've already found the key, so we know that chest is within logic. So that does mean that Blind could very well hold something. He's either going to hold... So I'm pretty sure the map wasn't in Blind's chest.
Right, I don't think it was either. So, question in chat, is doing left side of Swamp worth it? Kind of hard to say right now. I mean, at this point, like, we could still run into a bottle somewhere else. It depends on if Sick Kid has something, and that item Sick Kid had is blocking all the other bottles. which is highly unlikely. So at this point, I'd say that they're more than likely going to skip the west side of Swamp Palace.
Okay, so yeah, 3 bombs there. So Blindy's either going to have the map or the 4th item. Oh, and Dark Shadows points out the seeds adding insult to injury. Stun price is big 20s.
Oh no! That's terrible. Okay, so we're gonna see some Kana Samaria blind strats from Barnage here. As you can see, one whole block can potentially move blind to the next phase, so be very, very effective.
Very nicely done, though.
That's right, and we're going to get from blind just some bombs, so, you know, if Bob goes to Ice Palace here, he's going to be, you know, kind of ahead. I mean, he still needs Samaria at some point, but at least for the progression right now.
Yeah, as we know something, at the very least, has to be an Ice Palace. I really think at this point it almost has to be like the bow or Titan's Mitts or the medallion and a sword at this point, really, to kind of put us anywhere.
Yeah, and that's really all we got left at this point.
Yeah, I guess it could be Ega. Sword would give us Ega as well.
Yes, it would. Yep, a sword would give us Aghanim.
There's the bow.
There's the bow. Okay, well, looks like he's still going to be going further, though, just to check out what else is in here. Because, you know, if you get a sword, that's nice. That's something else you can use to attack.
So it goes without saying at this point, a forced double dip in the pod.
You know, it could be a forced triple dip in the pod.
It is going to be, unless we find a way into the light world, because we know the hammer's in Eastern Palace. So unless we find something else here, yeah, it's triple dip Palace of Darkness. Who would have thought?
And we're already 30 minutes into this seat. Okay, silver arrows are going to be vanilla inside the Pyramid Fairy, so that's good information.
Yep, potentially, yeah, might be seeing that. It could save the time depending on when we get to those 5-6 crystals. Ooh, Barnage taking a death there.
But he's going to take the bow he just found and go back to Palace of Darkness. I can definitely understand the play, because we've already found one item. There's still a potential for 4 others. And, you know, with what we still need to get to Light World, like, we need even a sword to get to Agana. We need a Moon Pearl to even do a lot of stuff in Light World. There's a pretty high probability we'll find something else in Pod, I think.
Yeah, especially the fact that, you know, a lot of the items in Ice at this point are hammerlocked. So, and we've already found a map. So I think we've only got access to 2 more chests at this point, unless we find the big key.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, it's not swordless. We're still going to need a sword to actually get through Aga Tower, because we've still got to cut the curtain at the top.
Yeah. The net's a very strong item. It's not that strong.
Now, if Dr. Bob does find something else here in Ice Palace, though, that's going to be huge, because it probably will be a long time. Oh, or a hint like that.
He's getting some good information, because I don't think Barnage got the silver cent, so that's some more information Bob has over his opponent.
Yeah, and that hint's valuable, but more than likely, as soon as you can make it to the light world with them both having the hint about the hammer, they're probably both going to make their way. I mean, they would have already made their way that way to begin with.
Yeah, that's fair. That's true.
That's just even more. It's like, okay, first thing I'm doing when I get there, I'm going to Eastern Palace. Now, I've got boots and a hammer. Maybe on the hammer.
Because yeah,
no, we got the bow now, so never mind.
Right.
Alright, last chance. Did Ice Palace pay off? No, just a bunch of keys.
Bunch of keys in that bow, so I bet Dr. Bob is heading back to Palace of Darkness now.
So the bow was in the first palace, the Pengated room in Ice Palace.
Mm-hmm. And after the fire rod was in the first chest in Palace of Darkness.
No, Dr. Bob did do Ice Tea Room.
Yeah, I believe it was just another dungeon item, so it didn't lead to anything.
I believe it was just a key. I think it was just keys,
Probably.
Key, big key into a key.
Yep, that sounds about right.
So what are we going to find inside of Palace of Darkness?
Oh, whatever it is, it's going to be leading us on our next adventure for this seed. You know, I'm almost wondering if we're going to get, like, maybe the myths or something, and that's going to take us to the light world to check the bottle vendor, which you can still do as a bunny, and then that's going to be our moon pearl.
Even I think it has to be something like that, either sword or the myths, because there really aren't any items, you know, single items that are going to open anything up in the dark world at this point.
Right.
There's our pearl.
Okay, that's one of the things we need. Actually, with that pearl, we can start on Death Mountain and go to the light world from there and do, like, Paradox Cave and all that stuff. So that is actually progress.
Yep, 8. Actually, no, because we can go into Tower of Hera as well. Can't finish.
Can we? Don't we still need the hammer to...
Oh yeah, we would need hammer.
Oh, before our Barnage leaves, does pick up the red mail from Palace of Darkness as well, which is, you know, it is another good find, especially since we're still rocking 6 hearts here.
And have some more rupees.
Yeah, why not? You already had to grind 30 rupees for the archery game. May as well start giving you more now. You already got everything you need.
So we're gonna see the light side of Death Mountain. Paradox Cave, Spiral Cave, and we'll see what else. And what it leads to.
Yeah, because I believe at this point, like, in terms of Light World, we're still kind of stranded, like, on Death Mountain. Because there's no way we can actually get off of this place, like, just the vanilla way, because it kind of treats this like the dark side of Death Mountain in normal mode, but it's this way in inverted mode. So we still need like another glove upgrade to even kind of do anything else kind of in the light overworld on the bottom of the mountain. So, you know, we're still trying to find something that'll still break this seed open more.
Yeah, I think we're either going to find Titan's Mitts or a sword up here at this point.
Right.
Oh, there's a sword.
It's a sword.
And the blue boomerang. What else we got? 10 more arrows and powder.
I will say, though, it is still kind of a frustrating feeling, like, knowing that, you know, I got the Moon Pearl, you know, I got this huge collection of items, but it's still an Aga-required seed.
Yeah, we got one more chest, one more desperate prayer to avoid Aga.
What if it's the medallion to open Turtle Rock?
Yep, checking that one item on the floating island there, just see the piece of heart. Yeah, and this is the last effort now.
Oh, well, okay, Chad just did... Oh, wait, no. Did we get both items from Skull Woods?
Yeah, both items were found.
Okay, so yeah, Mothula is not the answer. So yeah, this is the only item.
Nope, 10 arrows. Well, Chet, you get your Aga seed.
After all of that, it's still an Aga seed.
Yep. 42 minutes into the seed, you realize it's an Aga seed.
And yeah, as cool as it would be to do Turtle Rock, we are definitely still missing some things for it to become a reality. We either need the medallion to get into Turtle Rock, and to even get in the other entrances, we at least need the mirror, which we still haven't found either. So yeah, this is, at this point, this has to be an Aga seed. I don't think there's anything else there around. And also, the ball NPC giving us this life story.
You can backdoor Turtle Rock, but you have to do it from the light world, so you need the mirror to come back.
Right. I also love that for that ball NPC, they actually made his dialogue longer than what it is in the vanilla game. Just to really punish you for walking into him.
You just kind of finish, listen to his life story, give a pat on the shoulder to who's bowling him, just be like, you can return to what you were doing now.
Yeah.
And just do it worse, please, for me. So it is kind of funny, though, that the hint for Eastern Palace being hammer, that's actually going to be the rest of our light world access too, or where we can kind of teleport in and out, because you'll probably be making your beeline right there to grab that hammer.
Yeah, and as you and chat pointed out earlier, like he'll also be rewarded for getting those boots, which he did not see the hint for, but because it's right there, definitely going to check those as well.
And that hint tile that you almost never see in Aga Tower gives us some hint that we've got some cash in Lost Woods, because we didn't need it earlier.
That could potentially save you a few seconds if, like, you jump down into the, or even if you just look at the other one first and it doesn't happen to be the cache, you know, oh, okay, well, there's cache in the other location. So I don't have to check that.
I might just jump down there anyway, pick it up, and then give some slashes to the thief there. Be like, you stole all my money from the beginning of the seed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd probably do that too, honestly.
Well, Kirby, isn't there like a game we play when there's an Aga seed?
Yeah,
not a chat bot, but just a game for chat.
Yeah, I think that Aga, like, he has this attack that, you know, doesn't progress the fight whatsoever. You know, they're these energy balls that are colored blue. They can randomly happen on pretty much every phase except the first attack of every phase. I like to guess how many of those blue energy balls actually happen in the fight.
Well, there's
That's
a start.
one of them right there, yeah.
Well, the 15 dream is dead for some of the people in chat.
And there's that lightning attack, which, you know, it's going to happen in every fight at least once, depending on how many more of those blue energy ball attacks you get. It could happen again, but hopefully the RNG is kind to our runners today.
It is not, though.
Yep, lightning bolt number 2. Okay, so much like the, you know, the dark or the light world variant of Aga Tower, in inverted mode, Aga Tower is at Ganon's Tower, and kind of the inverse is the case for the light world, where Ganon's Tower is actually the middle building, the middle entrance of Hyrule Castle, and Ganon actually makes a nice little pyramid hole on the castle itself, so, you know, still kind of keeps those nice little fun quirks about the Dark World and Vanilla for inverted mode as well.
Yep, and that darn uncle, that's where all the rupees were. He stole them all. When he went down on his journey, he's like, I need all this money so I can go beat Ganon. I'm taking this. It's like, well, what if you fail? I won't. It'll be okay.
Yeah, Uncle was loaded.
600 rupees in Uncle's escape.
That's insane. The Barnage, to no surprise, is immediately going to Eastern, because he knows that's where Hammer is. He needs that item. Yeah, he can finish the dungeon too, so it's like, why not? And that's going to be how he's kind of going to start breaking this seed wide open.
Yeah, we're going to get some boots, we're going to get the hammer.
One really fun item to get in here would probably be Mirror, because then once you finish Eastern, you can just go right back over there and finish Pod while you're at it, too.
Yeah, it would be. So we're going to find 3 items here in Eastern Palace, and we know one is going to be the hammer. And another one's going to be a big 20.
There's the big key.
Gotta love finding that big key early hopefully you find the other 2 items now, and you don't have to go to that dark room.
There's the hammer. Oh, how nice. We can now skip the fire lock section of Tower of Hera.
Yes, we can. We just found a compass in the big chest, so we're checking the dark rooms. Alright, and Dr. Bob checks his final location, realizes this is an Egg Seed, and he's going to be on his way to Egg Tower.
Yep. The only thing worse than finding that out at the 40-minute mark is finding that out at the 50-minute mark. But at least it wasn't at the 60-minute mark.
Yeah, we haven't hit that hour yet, so... I mean, they could have given you a medallion and be like, here, you know, go to Turtle Rock, and, you know, you can go clear it while you're at it. We'll find a way.
Yeah, then it could have given you, like, yeah, the medallion for Turtle Rock. You got in there. You get the mitts, so you go to you get the mitts and flute, and you go to Light World to activate the flute as a bunny. And then you go to the mire area. The seed could have just been all over the place.
Actually, yeah, that's a fair point. We're going to have completed 2 dungeons, and on Maximum Barnage's side, and we're still no crystal dungeons, so.
For all we know, there's going to be in a pedestal seed, too.
Although Barnage might be a little upset when he goes and turns that green pendant in and then checks the closet and finds those boots. Like, you know, I wish I would have had these.
Yeah, for sure. Really nice Armos Knights fight, though.
Yep, very nice, and gets the green pendant. And Sahasrahla with a little bit more of that money, and we get mushroom boots and another big 20.
Well, hey, we have some running shoes, so that's one good thing to be happy about after that long, long process to this point. Still no crystals.
Yep, no crystals, and I'm actually trying to think, what do we actually need? A mirror?
Swamp Palace is a crystal, so we will need a mirror for that at some point.
Also for Misery Mire.
Right, yeah.
So, yeah, I think just...
Oh, hey, a nice little cape on the island.
Sure, I'll take that. Yeah, mirror, and then whatever Misery Mire's medallion. I think that's all we're actually looking for Go Mode.
Also potential for a different Turtle Rock medallion, since we don't have that marked currently either.
This is true, but if they find a mirror, they probably won't even need a medallion.
That is correct. I almost forgot about that, yeah. So yeah, we definitely were kind of talking about that earlier. Yeah, Turtle Rock actually has a variety of different ways you can actually enter that dungeon, which makes it a bit more accessible in inverted mode. However, on the flip side, Desert is actually extremely closed off because now you have to get the book to enter Desert Palace. So it's kind of fun how those two dungeons kind of swap roles in inverted mode.
Yep, the book becomes extremely important. It's not just for a couple tablets or for the chance to check the pedestal.
Of course, right now, though, finding the book would mean that pedestal is in play, so I'm sure our runners probably do not want to see that.
Runners probably don't chat. They probably want to.
That's fair.
And Dr. Bob takes down Aga. He's in the light world now. And Dr. Bob, you're about to become very rich.
Millionaire Bobtastic.
Actually, in thinking about it, it's kind of funny that all the NPCs that you can talk to had rupees except the thief.
Yeah, that is funny.
We'll see maybe if this thief has money. If not, that's kind of funny. The people who expect to have money, they don't have money. Hype Cave was already checked, Jerzin. Nope, just a single arrow.
That is a unique item that's crossed off the list, though, so good for hints. And the Ether Medallion.
Yep, Ether Medallion. So if Turtle Rock is Ether, we can go all the way through Turtle Rock now.
But is this also a case, as we discussed earlier, do they want to maybe wait and see if they can maybe run into that mirror and not even worry about that medallion? Or is the mirror going to be in there?
I mean, it's very possible that could be one of those kind of gambles that you make that puts you ahead.
That's true. Also, apparently we found that Sanctuary Heart.
Yep, and Bob with that hint about the boots is going to make his way to the closet first, get his mushroom and boots, and another big 20.
And with that, his Eastern Palace is going to be a bit faster, going to be able to run through some of those kind of hallways that you have in the dungeon. So that is definitely a good benefit to getting that hint earlier. Yeah, see someone commenting in chat. Yeah, it has been an entire hour with no crystals. We've had quite the Dark World adventure. Literally, I've had to dip every single dungeon in the Dark World and pod twice already just to get one item to the next item to the next item. And eventually that led to Aga, and we're still trying to find something else to break open the seed. We do have enough items to clear Palace of Darkness right now, so we can get that crystal at the very least, but you know, there's a lot of other things that we're still looking for.
Yeah, and the hammer actually kind of busted the seed open, because with that hammer we can do Tower of Hera, can do Ice Palace, Pod.
Yeah, we haven't dipped Mire or Turtle Rock yet, obviously, because we don't have the items for that, and the same for Swamp as well. But, you know, of all the accessible dungeons, like, whenever we've gotten access to one, we've dipped it for something else, to dip one for something else, and that's basically how this seed has gone since then.
And Barnage with the love lesson. But, you know, you had 1,700 rupees, you're probably happy to just give Zora 500 anyways.
Yeah, at that point, it's not a big deal. It looks like Barnage is probably thinking about, well, honestly, he could be thinking Turtle Rock even with the medallion and see if that might be the good place to go. He does have to clear that eventually, and he can do Harrow while he's up here as well.
Oh, the pink ball gets him
again!
So is it the pink ball's fault at this point, or is it the bully? Because that bully kicked him into him now.
Yeah, I think they're both to blame, honestly, at this point.
Yeah, I think at this point you're at least going to check the medallion requirements.
Mm-hmm. Quake.
You might actually be happy to see that, because, you know, at this point, if it was, you could potentially be looking at, you know, a 9-heart Trinex fight with no bottles and a hammer.
True. Very true. I'm going to give you that one. That's not a good prospect. We are going to check Spike Cave, though. Ooh, is he going to have enough time for this?
I was going to say, because technically this chest is actually... Unless there's a... I mean, more than likely there's probably a bottle, I would assume. Ooh, barely.
Ooh. That was literally the last chance he had. Unfortunately, not what he's looking for.
But yeah, technically that chest would be out of logic, because we know half magic is behind mirror, and a bottle as well. So we didn't have a bottle or half magic for that fight, for that cave.
Mm-hmm. But hey, he was able to get it, so more power to him.
Yeah, got it by the skin of his teeth on that one.
So, you know, there's this really cool place, has like around 15 items at least. It's called Kakariko, and we haven't been there yet.
How many seeds can you say it's an hour in and we haven't been to Kakariko?
Not many. And inverted, you know, probably a bit closer to the mark. Like, I guess it's not too surprising to be here in inverted this late, but if you've never seen or played inverted, it is definitely a... it's definitely something you gotta get used to.
Well, we had the 20 rupees in the mushroom spot, so potentially, well, it's not cash, but...
And that's definitely why, like, just kind of during this first part of the seed, we've kind of just been... Or during this part of the seed, anyway, like, we've been kind of going through all these locations because, you know, there is a lot in early Light World in a non-inverted seed, and you just gotta put all those numbers together and realize there could be a lot here. And there is a sword in Lumberjack, blind Lumberjack, because of the idea of having done Aga already.
Having done Aga before even checking the Lumberjack Cave Ledge. Compliments of inverted mode.
So yeah, we're definitely going to be seeing more of these kind of early Light World location checks now that we are finally in the Light World. So, you know, it'll definitely come down to, like, if someone finds something that kind of puts them back in dungeon mode. you know, that could make a huge difference in the outcome of this race. So, like, if they find, again, that mirror, for example, that puts a couple more dungeons within the logic, potentially. So it's like, okay, I have the mirror. Do I just go for that and hope that I'll find the rest along the way, or do I keep checking all of these light world locations to see if maybe I can find something else?
I mean, I think if you find mirror, you make a beeline for desert and mirror to mire to check to see if that is ether, because if it's actually ether, you're in go mode now, especially with Master Sword.
That's true, yeah.
Ooh, that guard just having some fun with Barnage there.
That is definitely a good point to make. Oh, well, here we are.
And there's the mirror. Okay, so even with this being inverted, now we get to say something else. We are potentially in go mode before even going into Kakariko Village.
Wow.
Dark Shadows, I don't actually think it will be Silverless, because I believe if you have only Master Sword, we know Silvers are at Fat Fairy. So I believe you will spend the time to go get those silver arrows.
Well, here's the thing, though. Dr. Bob knows that the Silvers are in Fat Fairy, or the Pyramid Fairy.
That's true. Maximum Barnage does not.
Now, he might go to Ice Palace at some point, and we'll figure that out if he checks the hint, but, yeah, he does not have the information, and that could make a difference, but we'll see. Depends on how aggressive Barnage decides to make this play now that he does have that mirror.
And yeah, Maximum Barnage is making his way directly to Desert.
Yeah, you can generally tell, not in all cases, there are a few walls that are kind of weird, but you can tell if you can dash into a bomb rock wall. If it looks like it's kind of creates a doorway a little bit with the cracks, then those you can generally, like, bonk into and break them open. But if it just looks like a giant circle being outlined with a crack, then that's usually one you can only do with a bomb. But unfortunately, that is not the medallion I think we're looking for.
Unfortunately, no. We have no Bombo, so we are not in go mode. But that pretty much means that Bombos can be anywhere in the world now.
Anywhere except inside Misery Mire or Ganon's Tower. But yeah, yep. Pretty much anywhere else aside from that. As you can see, we are checking some locations that have to kind of change a little bit because this is inverted mode. As you can see, that's Checkerboard Cave, because you can't mirror up there because you can't mirror in the Dark World anymore. So the developers made it so you could actually access that location if you're in the area. So that's good that they did that.
Yep, so I think what this race is really going to come down to is what order do you do these dungeons, and really, who finds Bombos first?
Exactly.
And Gambella, we, at this point, do not need Quake. You can get to Turtle Rock in inverted mode with the mirror. You hop down on one of the ledges and the light ward mirror over.
Yeah, that Quake medallion has no relevance to this seed right now because of inverted mode. If the mirror was in Turtle Rock, then yeah, that would be important. But now with the mirror, we can access pretty much every entrance except that vanilla one, and from those entrances you can access any of the other chests.
And the timer keeps going. We're an hour and 10 minutes in the seed, and we have yet to see Kakariko Village.
You know, Barnage is checking Swamp Palace. It has 6 items. You know, you'd be clearing a crystal while you're doing this. Hopefully he checks the back and finds those silvers. If Bob checks Kakariko and Bombos just happens to be there, that could be pretty big for him.
Which, I mean, there's a good chance it's there, because, you know, we're looking at potentially 13 items right now.
At least. Because, yeah, you have the 2-5 chest locations, you got Bottle Vendor, Chicken Hut. Still can't do Sick Kid, but there's Tavern, we can access Magic Bat, Library, Race Game.
Well, we can do Sick Kid on Barnage's side, because we got our first bottle there in Swamp.
Okay, well, that means there's two bottles in the Swamp now.
Oh, not as bad as the seed I played earlier. It had 3 bottles.
Oh, wow.
But that does pretty much mean that left side Swamp. Unless you really want that half magic, you're not going there, no.
That's true. That might be another reason why Barnage came here, is because you know you could get away with skipping those chests.
It is very possible. Oh wait, I forgot about that. We're missing myths still. Actually, no. We don't need
won't. Yeah, we don't think we'll need myths for anything. Because, yeah, with the way Ganon's Tower is positioned in this seed, you don't need those to open or get to Ganon's Tower. So myths generally, you know, they could still be required, I think, but, like... Actually, I don't know. Maybe they can't be.
I don't think they can, because I'm trying to think of anything that would be required. I guess I think the only way they can be required is if that's your access to Light World.
Right.
Because Turtle Rock is completely accessible without them. Misery Mire is accessible without them. And so is Ice Palace, because you can just walk in Ice Palace. Yeah,
King's Tomb, that's the one thing.
So now chat puts all their hopes on Bombos and King's Tomb.
Who needs Pedestal when we have King's Tomb?
Oh, there's Quake. Don't need that one, though. Or chat, if you really wanted to be mean, we could do it to where Book is in King's Tomb. Or no, Mit's on Pedestal for Book in King's Tomb. No, wait, that won't work. I was thinking of something. Bombos in King's Tomb and Mit's on the Pedestal. That's what I was thinking.
Okay. But 1 hour, 13 minutes in, we finally have our first crystal.
I was thinking of all the items, and they made sense, and then I thought of like 4 items. I was like, hey, this works. Wait, no. This way. No, that doesn't work either. But yeah, 73 minutes for crystal number 1.
And at that point, you gotta be thinking you're behind, but in Dr. Bob's case, he's actually got a lead right now in crystal count.
Yeah, crystal count, and, you know, if he finds Bombos in Kakariko... Oh, never mind.
Oh, no. Okay, now we're in go mode.
Maximum Barnage picks the right dungeon. It gets Bombos and gets go mode before crystal number 1.
And there's the book in the back of the well. So Swamp had 2 bottles and 2 medallions. Go mode without Kakariko. Yeah, that's what we should be focusing on here.
Yeah. Go mode without Kakariko and go mode before your first crystal. Technically, he did pick up the item before the crystal.
Yep, that's true. That's true. So yeah, I think Barnage is just going to be going in a nice little clockwise pattern here. counterclockwise rather.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I guess he started from swamp. Okay, it is clockwise.
And if you think about it, chat just brought this up. It took us 43 minutes to figure out this was an Egg Seed, and in 30 minutes after that, you're in go mode.
I know, inverted. So yeah, Bob is going to be checking all these Kakariko locations, which will, unfortunately increase his time a little bit. If he gets a sword or something, that could speed him up a little bit in the grand scheme of things, and he does know where the silvers are. In fact, he actually has tempered now, so that's already improving. So he could gain some time back there, but again, Barnage looks like he's going to be focused just on dungeons for the rest of the seeds, so Bob needs to go swamp.
Yeah, I think at this point, Bob has to go swamp immediately. Which realistically would be the best play. It has the most items. I mean, it's 6, 2 of them are worthless, but that lets you skip that and save a lot of time. And it is a crystal.
It looks like he is going south, though, but I think he still needs the information about Bombos, so he might...
He might check Meyer first, we'll see. Yeah, he's going to go at least check Meyer first. We'll see if he decides to dive into Desert as well, since he has that book. He is going to check the pedestal. Tablet.
Tablet, yes.
So yeah, in inverted, you mirror from light world to dark world rather than from dark world to light world. So you actually, once you have access to light world, if you have a mirror, you can get to the Meyer area.
And he sees that Bombos medallion. Probably not happy to see that, so he's going to jump in the desert, see if maybe it's close by.
See, hopefully he finds both items relatively quickly and then decides not to go to the Land Molus.
Yeah, hopefully.
But with a map there, that's looking less likely.
Oh, Cane of Burna, we found another item in Ice Palace.
Alright, and Barnage picks up crystal number 2 after finishing up Misery Mire.
I think he's going to be working on the Death Mountain dungeons next, so going to be taking care of Turtle Rock and Tower of Hera.
Bernard could be on Cold Stare behind either of the 2 Hammerlock chests.
Yeah. Oh, that Lionel was just being mean.
Barnage is actually going to go in the vanilla route. Through the front.
Oh, yeah. Well, he doesn't have a way to get to
Oh yeah,
the...
he has to do this because we would need mitts for that, wouldn't we?
I mean, he could go with the other portal
True.
and go around with the hook shot and do all that, but I think at this point he's just thinking, well, let me just go through this way. Maybe I'll find a sword along the way. But will the logic allow him to do that, depending on like the keys setup and everything? Also, yeah, he does need the big key too. So.
Yeah, well, you're not kind of, I guess, splitting the dungeon in, technically. Now, the one nice thing for Dr. Bob, if he decides to do this after, you know, finishing up Desert, what he did there, is the next closest location is Swamp Palace for him. But he's going to quit. So we'll see where he goes.
He's going in escape. And see, it looks like on Barnage's side he ran into a situation where he can't continue the vanilla way, so he does kind of have to do this loop around and mirror into one of the other entrances.
Yep, no keys, gotta do it. Well, we know Maximum Barnage, he's not going to be getting Temper Sword.
Ooh, that's right, yeah. If he keeps up this routing and doesn't check Kakariko or Escape, yeah, he's going to be on Master Sword the whole way. Still doesn't know where those silvers yet are either.
Yeah, which I don't foresee him, you know, checking Kakariko or the Escape. He's in go mode. He'll, you know, check probably chests on the way, and that's about it.
So if Bob does get kind of on the right track, like he'll definitely be gaining time just on execution alone. But again, it's just he needs to get on that track like right now in order to actually keep up, because Barnage is working on his third crystal right now.
Yep, he's going to have to make the play to Swamp Palace as this next play, I think, or as it's going to be difficult to come back for him at that point without Barnage making some errors.
Looks like that is what he's thinking, though. He is going south. He is heading towards the dam. No, this is Barnage's third crystal. He has completed Mire at this point.
Yep, and Bob is making the play into Swamp.
The Silver's tent was in Ice Palace. Barnage died early and decided to go back to Pod. Bob didn't find anything extra in Ice Palace, but he did get the information from that hint where the Silvers were, and they are actually in the Pyramid Ferry location.
Yeah, I think Barnage died right before getting to the hint.
Mm-hmm.
But Barnage, no trolling today. Takes down Troller and gets crystal number 3.
And now that we are in Light World, we're going to see how exactly you can enter Turtle Rock from one of the other entrances in inverted mode. Because we have that mirror, these bridges down here can actually get you to various entrances of Turtle Rock. This one right here is actually the laser bridge, so if Barnage gets a good layout right here, he can actually just go straight to Trinex if these chests have the big key and a small key.
One chest a bomb though? Ooh, well, and heart, piece of heart, so we're gonna need him in the next 2.
There's one of them. Okay, gotta do a little bit more backtracking, but you know, you still may not have to go all the way back, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, well, you got a key, just not the right size.
Plus, once we find it, we can literally just mirror, like, right back to the laser bridge, so it's very convenient.
There's the big key, so it's time to mirror and go to Trinex. Which, this is another one of those locations where Dr. Bob could gain some time if he decides to just go immediately to the light world and kind of go around and just jump right in. He'll save some time not having checked the front part of Turtle Rock.
That's true. Here we're going to have a Master Sword, normal magic meter, Trinex fight here. Going to go straight for the hammer strats.
Gets the item switch before the head goes down.
This is personally where I would start to panic, because Trinex definitely gets a little rambunctious on that second head, but gets through just fine. Just has to nail these sword strikes and should be fine for the rest of this.
So yeah, Barnage is slightly ahead right now, but we're looking at where he's going to be finishing the game potentially. He's going to be on Master Sword. He will not see a Tempered Sword, and more than likely won't see Silvers, where Dr. Bob has the Butter Sword, as you can see, and knows where Silvers are.
Mm-hmm.
Because Dr. Bob's not in go mode, but he is about to be, because you're going to see Bombos here right now.
DoctorBobtastic is hit go mode at 1 hour, 28 minutes. Again, just about 30 minutes after he finished Aghanim.
Question, do Silver save much time? In the situation that Maximum Barnage is in, it would save him a lot of time, because I believe it's 24 spins on Phase 4, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
So yeah, it's a lot of spins compared to, you know, even if Dr. Bobtastic goes in with just a Butter Sword and no Silvers, his first 2 phases are going to be blindingly quick compared to Barnage's. And as well as Barnage, I would assume, is going to be checking chests on the way at this point, hoping to get a sword upgrade or silver, since he doesn't know where they are. He might find out if he checks hints, but whereas Dr. Bobtastic knows he doesn't need to really look for anything. He has Butter Sword, he knows where silvers are, he's got red mail. no looking for anything, and he is Maximum Barnage is going to skip the hints, so he will not know where silvers are.
That is unfortunate, but you know, he still has a lead at this point, so you know it's definitely not rip or anything, but you know it is definitely a piece of information that could have saved a lot of time, especially in inverted mode when I think it's like not even like that. I think it's even a little faster to actually check the Pyramid Fairy, because the bomb shop's actually in the light world. So you just literally start from Link's house, mirror, or not mirror, but well, I guess you would still have to get to the house somehow. But then you just go north of the bridge and then mirror at the castle and you're at Pyramid, and then just go back to the portal when you're ready to get ready for the, you know, GT climb or even the GT battle itself.
Yeah, I think if it was a normal seed, it wouldn't really pay off for Dr. Bob to get silver arrows. Maximum Barnage, regardless, it would help him tremendously the time. But with DoctorBobtastic, might even still save him a little bit of time. He doesn't really need them at this point. The only real help there would be for some of the bosses before that, saving some time as well. But he's taking care of the biggest one first with Vitreous.
Yeah, that is a good point. That is a good point to point out there.
Silvers are in the Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, and Reseatador in chat is definitely making a good point too, is because if he does Hera and Turtle Rock last, it's literally just a very quick save and quit to be right on that ledge of, you know, the Hyrule Castle Tower, where you can do both Ganon's Tower and Aga Tower, right, or the Ganon fight by itself right there.
Alright, down goes Vitreous on Bob's side. Crystal number 3. Maximum Barnage has 2 to go. He's got to go in the pod and go into Skull Woods.
That is Crystal 3 for Bobtastic. He still needs Hera, Pod, Ice Palace, and Turtle Rock.
It does look like he's going to check Hera and Turtle Rock first. Two swords, one of them is in Kakariko Village, and the other one is in the Castle Escape. Yes, I know it's hard to believe, but that can sometimes, usually rarely happen. But Maximum Barnage never went into Kakariko Village.
And unfortunately, Bob's not going to get that extra time on Barnage either. Can get a little extra time during the Trinex fight for sure, because he has Butter Sword, but he's also going to be jumping into the front of the dungeon as well before he starts heading to the back.
Yep, unfortunately. And Maximum Barnage just has 2 very quick dungeon checks because as far as Skullwoods and Pod, you know, he doesn't need to check anything. They've both been fully cleared out. So he's just going in for crystals. Dr. Bobtastic's in go mode, so he's not really worried about any items, but still has a couple dungeons. So gonna need, you know, some little bit of luck, some GT routing maybe, and we'll see if there's anything else that can help him catch up.
Yeah, he's definitely going to be catching up for the rest of this race just due to his equipment, but it's still too soon to tell if like he's going to actually be able to make the full distance, because like you said, GT routing could play a big part in that as well.
Yeah, there's that, and you know, Maximum Barnage making a mistake or taking something like a Ganon Fall, because with Master Sword, Ganon Falls are very painful.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
And as well as Maximum Barnage, he's more than likely he's going to have to use the lamp for his Ganon fight, because with only 1 bottle, more than likely we'll not see another one, and no half magic. Can't really afford to use the Fire Rod just because how much magic it's going to use.
Looks like he's also jumping in Turtle Rock before Tower of Hera, so he's going to have to kind of make that loop around again just to get back up there to Hera, so that'll waste a little bit of time as well.
Yeah, it will.
And, you know, I can definitely understand, because, you know, maybe this is a case where, like, you just don't kind of play a mode like an inverted that much. You know, it's still a relatively new mode as well. So these are like little optimizations that you may not necessarily think about here and there.
Yeah, that is very true, because kind of this is Maximum Barnage's. He did pick the seed, so he's the one that picked inverted.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very well that, you know, maybe he did some scouting on his opponent, realized he doesn't play a lot of inverted, and he's, you know, one of his strengths is inverted. So it's like, well, I'll go ahead and pick that, and that gives me the best chance to win.
Mm-hmm. There is the big key to Turtle Rock for Dr. Bob, so he's going to be going down there. First going to take a death to refill his hearts, though, because he was pretty low, so going to be working on his 4th crystal boss shortly. And meanwhile, though, Maximum Barnage working on his last crystal boss.
And down he goes. So, Slim Kirby, I know we played a game earlier with some numbers.
Mm-hmm.
With Ega, Blue Balls, and all that, but I know there's another game that's, you know, usually it's a little bit more popular, and it happens every game typically.
Okay, well, we're getting ready to go into a dungeon called Ganon's Tower. This is a dungeon that has a lot of chests in the basement. We generally like to guess which chest that big key is going to end up being, the big key we need to actually beat the dungeon. So in the chat, if you are so interested in playing along, guess number 1 through 22 to guess what numbered location you think is that big key is going to end up at.
Alright, so we got 1, 2, and 3. No keys at all, so we're going left side first.
Yeah, it looks that way. Did get a key there, but I imagine at this point might just continue the rest of the way since you're already in here. Unless you want to go for a neat little dark magician strat where you just kind of check these four and then check the right side.
Or, you know, we could find the big key here too, but we'll see.
That's true.
Nope, just some keys. Oh, wait, he is going to mirror, so...
Ooh!
Are we seeing dark... We are.
Interesting.
I mean, potentially even Maximum Barnage might feel like he's behind just because of the early game. How, I mean, it was pretty much every single location he checked was the last location he could check. And if his opponent made it into the light world earlier and made the right plays, that's been in go mode and is ready to dot done at this point.
That's true, yeah. There we go. There's the big key right there.
I believe that was
number 8.
Yeah, that would be number 8. And just checking those chests, I'm guessing for the sword or silvers.
Yep. But yeah, as chat's pointing out, he definitely has a very sizable lead. And, you know, it's one that Bob's really going to have to start kind of like getting some really good execution in to kind of catch back up. But it's all going to come down to that Ganon fight because, you know, Master Sword Silverless is very difficult, even for runners who, you know, do these randomized runs all the time. Like, just one little slip-up and you're back at the beginning of what's a really long fight. So, you know, I can't really call it over, but he definitely does have a pretty big lead at this point.
Yeah, especially with, you know, the big key where it was, we need to see, you know, for Dr. Bob to at least stay even on time, he's going to need to run the Dark Magician strat himself, which you don't really see too often.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think Barnage, he is going to check every chest at the top of Ganon's Tower, just looking for a sword or the silvers at this point, just anything that can help him right now.
Yeah, for sure. Meanwhile, Dr. Bob coming up to Moldorm for his 5th crystal.
Yep, and there it is. And I do kind of hope Dr. Bob does the Dark Magician strat just because of the fact that he's using the Mega Sprite. It would make sense.
Yeah, really. Question in chat wondering why Dr. Bob is as far as behind as he is right now. Honestly, it was just the fact that Barnage figured out it was an Aga seed about 10 minutes before Dr. Bob did, and Bob also checked a lot more light world than what Barnage did as well. Was able to find the 2 sword upgrades, and again, does know where the silvers are as well if he so chooses to get those, but as we discussed, probably not worth it at this point. But yeah, just kind of all that extra time looking around for stuff. Also kind of got pretty far in Ice Palace while Barnage died early, so we just didn't go back to Ice Palace until he actually wanted to clear it. So again, just like little things like that is how the difference in time is as it is right now.
Yeah, which isn't necessarily to say that DoctorBobtastic, made poor decisions, because it could have very well been that, Maximum Barnage died, and Ice Palace decided to say no to it, and there would have been another major item there that Dr. Bob got, and this could be completely the other way around at that point.
Yeah, exactly. Ooh, doesn't get either bomb kill on those Stalfos Knights.
And I'm hoping that, I was like, I don't know if that bomb is actually close enough. Down goes Trolldorm 2. And I'm actually kind of wondering if this is muscle memory for Dr. Bob doing the bomb jump. Since he's already been in here, he has a key plus the big key. He could just walk.
That's true, he could. I still think it's a little faster to still do the bomb jump, though, just because of less transitions to the actual room.
Salvages that one, gets one hit on Aga.
And I hope you guys are ready for a Master Sword Silverless fight, because that's what we're going to be having on Maximum Barnage's screen.
Yep, and DoctorBobtastic drops down for his Cold Stare fight, and Barnage is going to be dropping down for his Ganon fight.
Wait, if there's a hole in Hyrule Castle, wouldn't this just be the main hallway that you start Hyrule Castle in?
Yeah, would be.
Should be, it's not, but yeah.
Alright, Bob gets crystal number 6. He just has pod left to go.
He is in phase number 2.
Actually, I know why that works, because isn't it in glitch mode to where you can actually enter the Triforce room or Ganon's from that first room in Hyrule Castle?
That might be, yeah, I think it is.
I think if you drop into one of those pots, maybe that's what it is. You drop through that and just right onto that pot. Just skips that.
That's fair. I can live with that.
But Barnage making as quick of a work as he can of Ganon with that Master Sword on to phase 3. Got 2 more spins, and then we have 24 spins to seal Ganon's fate.
It is a lot of spins, but you know, it seems like he has a good start. He has red mail, so, you know, has a potion is left over too.
Yep, thankfully gets that torch glitch.
Just has to do this calmly and patiently, and he should be fine. And yeah, definitely BRB on fire. A lot of really excellent work and attention to detail was put into this mode. Definitely. I remember before the mode came out, even just watching some of the development streams of Inverted and kind of the planning stages for how it would work were just really insightful and kind of fun to watch. So definitely a lot of care and a lot of creative thought process went into this mode for sure.
Yeah, it wasn't just something that kind of threw together. Like, hey, we'll do this. There was a lot put into this to make this work and make it as high quality as it was.
Mm-hmm.
A little over halfway now.
Still has more than half his magic too, which is also a good sign. Let's go for a fire rod shot right there. Ooh, gets an extra shot there too.
Set up for the triple. And down he
there
goes.
It is. Right as Dr. Bob finishes up Helmasaur and gets his final crystal.
And Maximum Barnage is going to take first place in this race with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 51 minutes, and 14 seconds.
Get those GGs in chat, everybody. Very excellent Ganon fights, for sure.
And with, Dr. Bob's going to be heading up to Ganon's Tower. We'll let chat know, since we do have one of the racers done now, there are not going to be any interviews after this race because this is actually a double header. They will be racing again with DoctorBobtastic settings, which is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, a Key Sanity. Let me double check on that. Yes, it is going to be a open mode Ganon, randomized swords, normal difficulty, Key Sanity. And that's going to be right after they are finished, and I believe they're going to be going to credits, if I'm not mistaken.
Although I do see Barnage in the waiting room right now, believe it or not.
I do see him there. Let me... Let me check, since I know we do have time for the races, so I'm not sure if that's just something we'll do, but let me just double check first.
Okay. Meanwhile, we'll see if Dr. Bob is going to be doing the same again in tower routing that his opponent did. Looks like he is killing the Stalfos, which means he's more than likely going to continue on with the left side. So it will take him a bit longer to get that big key.
Yeah, unfortunately, you know, with Barnage already done, doesn't make too much of a difference, but that would have been a time loss in this case if would have been trying to gain that time back still. Okay, yeah, we are getting confirmation. There will be no interviews after this seed. They will be doing, if they're up for it, they'll be doing interviews after their second seed.
Okay. So yeah, we'll finish up watching Dr. Bob's run, see what else he's gonna get from these chests. Does find the flute. Unfortunately, at this point, flute's not gonna do much because that's mainly for overworld traveling.
Yeah, really no use at all in this seed at all for other than that traveling.
But anyway, I guess another thing to mention is with this victory, Maximum Barnage will now jump up to 2-1 in his group score. So, you know, that's another win he can add to his belt, and, you know, could potentially get another one, because as we said before, this is going to be a double header. So right after this match on the very same channel, probably around 10:30ish, another match will begin. So if you want to continue to watch this series, basically the way we have the group stage set up is every group has 6 people in it, and everyone must play every other person in the group 3 times for a total of 15 matches. At the end of the group stage, the top 2 in each of the groups will be advancing on to the bracket stage of the tournament. So this was Game 1. Settings were chosen by Barnage. The settings for Game 2 are going to be chosen by DoctorBobtastic. Game 3 will be chosen by a randomizer bot with both players getting 1 veto each, where they can veto a specific aspect of the randomizer of their choosing. And that's basically how this group stage is going to work. And we mentioned Dr. Bob picked Key Sanity for his pick, something he's probably a bit more comfortable. I know that he really loves Key Sanity, so, you know, definitely can get his vengeance in that seat as well, so we'll have to see how that goes.
Yep, probably will be looking for that vengeance too.
Mm-hmm.
He is gonna, oh, actually, he's gonna have to use some bombs, I think, here, because now 2 bombs. Because he is out of magic.
There we go. Okay, good. He did have another small key. I was actually wondering that. Okay, he did have another key, right?
Yep, he did have a key in. 135, 216 collection rate. That just goes to show you that very early go mode, he really wasn't checking pretty much anything after that.
Yeah, pretty much. That's 15 items missing from Kakariko as it is. And that's just the way Inverted works sometimes, is because of the nature of the Dark World. In the vanilla game, you're kind of going from dungeon to dungeon to basically finish the game. Well, you know, in the Light World, you kind of get all the power-ups, all of the other kind of unique items. when you kind of invert things, you kind of have that linear, almost, you know, dungeon hopping like we saw in today's seed, and boy, did we see that in today's seed. And then when you get to Light World, you have all these options, but, you know, you may have gotten a lot of the stuff you needed to complete the seed in Dark World, so you could be spending very little time in that Light World.
Yeah, I mean, that pretty much was the way it was, because, like, going into the Light World, we were looking realistically just for the hammer. I think it was really just hammer, mirror, and we didn't know what medallion we needed for Misery Mire at the time, but we already knew where the hammer was, and both our runners just kind of made a beeline for it. And then, you know, they both kind of made a good decision, found a really early mirror, but Barnage kind of followed it right away instead of checking Kakariko, and made the right call in the dungeon going to Swamp, and found the Bombos.
And, you know, good utilization of the hints, too, because we did get that one hint about Swamp Palace. We knew what the two items were on the western side, and that can be your biggest time sink in Swamp Palace, too. So because of that, it seemed like a natural dungeon to check, because it's so linear at that point. So it really was a great attention to not only the hints, but also just in terms of how the dungeons normally play out. Was able to get that done quickly, and then not only get his first crystal, but also get the remaining go mode item too.
Yeah, definitely. But Dr. Bob, a couple more floors to go, and we're going to be up to Ega 2. And then that Ganon fight. You'll still get your spin action more than likely, but not as much as you had to see on Barnage's side.
Well, actually, Dr. Bob has silvers, so...
Oh, never mind. I must have missed him picking up silvers where I was trying to find out if we were doing interviews or not.
Yeah, so he picked those up, so Ganon's going to be, like, not a problem whatsoever. Literally just a couple of sword strikes and some silver hits, and that's pretty much it. Does have to be kind of careful. He did misuse a fire rod right there. Thankfully has just enough of the lamp to light those torches. You do not want to run out of magic this far up Ganon's tower.
No, you do not.
On the last room where you need the magic too, no less.
He also did skip the refill, I believe, though, so he could have just dropped down and grabbed the full magic, worst case.
Yeah, that's true. But transitions, we don't want to add those to the game timer. Wow, Moldorm, stop being mean.
Trolldorm being super aggressive there. Wanted to troll so hard.
And again, let's also not forget to point out that, you know, especially in Barnage's case, at 1 hour and 10, he did not have a single crystal. And then, as he got that first crystal hitting go mode, in a period of like 30 to 40 minutes, was able to clear 7 dungeons. Some were already done, and some were really short, but still getting all 7 of those crystals in like 40 minutes.
Yeah, 7 crystals and Ganon's tower in... Ganon's tower plus Master Sword Silverless Ganon as well.
Yeah, oh, definitely. Can't even forget about that.
But DoctorBobtastic takes down Ega 2. Just the final goal. We've got to drop Ganon. Gotta butter the pig up with that butter sword and then make some skewers.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And as you can see, just how much faster it is from Master Sword to Butter Sword.
Mm-hmm.
And then the biggest difference is speed. Silver's compared to a Master Sword.
May actually get the double-double right here. Nice.
Yes, he does. All right, and GG to DoctorBobtastic, who's going to finish with an official SRL time, 2 hours, 5 minutes, and 59 seconds.
Yeah, GG to both runners. And again, if you want to see how the series continues to play out, we'll be having another race between these two starting very, very soon. So, in the same channel, so you don't have to go anywhere. So, if you want to keep watching, definitely stick around. But Game 1 will go to Maximum Barnage. Remember, it's not a best-of scenario. All 3 games will be played between these two. Still, it's another win for Barnage and his group, and definitely going to be looking for another one. And Bob's going to be looking for some vengeance as well, as we're going to be using his settings.
Yeah, and they already actually had started their race. It looks like they just actually started race 2 on their side. We've got that 20-minute delay, so they are going to be live on here at about, let's see, 10:16. So you've got about 16 minutes to that race if you want to kind of get up, stretch after that one, get something to drink, get something to eat, so you can come back and watch part 2.
Yeah, definitely. So again, major thank you to our runners for putting on this show today, and for the continued show they'll be putting on for us. Also, major thank you to our tracker for this race. We have Nif Boy keeping those buttons pressed behind the scenes and keeping everything up to date. And of course, thank you, Sir Lancelot, for joining me on this cast. It's been a lot of fun. This has been quite the inverted adventure we've had here today. And yeah, thank all of you guys for watching as well.
Yeah, it was quite the inverted adventure. Seed pretty much took us everywhere it wanted to in the dark world before finally saying, okay, you can go to the light world, and especially just be like, oh, you can't have any money, though. Just no money for you.
Yeah, definitely. But that's the way inverted works sometimes, so you kind of have to roll with the punches, so to speak.
That is how it works.
Okay, so I guess we'll let the credits roll for you guys, and going to go ahead and sign off. This has been Slim Kirby. Talk to you guys later, and have a good day.
Yep, and this is Sir Lancelot777. Hope you all have a good night, and when they're ready, I know it's probably going to be about, I'm not sure, probably about 10 minutes before they hop in or so, but you're going to have Bungie to the Tree and Recidador on the call for game number 2.